So people say that if a child fails, then he or she is expected to repeat the class. However, I doubt if many Nigerians, judging by the last INEC result, would love the current president to come back for a second term. While we are not literally saying that President Tinubu repeated any class growing up, we are speaking about his second term bid. Before we continue, hi, I'm Olamide Oke. If you are here to subscribe, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will get the alert once we release new videos. Also, please like, share and subscribe. It only takes 2 seconds to do so, and we would love to welcome you with warm embrace. It was 29th of May 1999 when Nigeria returned back to civilian rule. While people like the current president would argue of their struggle against the military, including going on self-exile, experts say that in the end, a stroke of luck, Abacha dying unexpectedly, freed Nigerians from the hands of our oppressors and sent the military back to the barracks. However, since the dawn of this new era, Nigeria has faced issues with our coming president appearing to be worse off than the previous ones. This, though, will be a wrong approach to analyzing all the presidents. Obasanjo, together with Atiku, put together institutional structures needed for the building of a nation, including arguably the most robust National Assembly, not rubber stamp like we have today, the best EFCC boss we have had till today, and many more. In simple terms, he brought some stability. The problem, however, is he over-politicized INEC, the electoral body, and since he could not deliver any credible election, especially the fantastically flawed election in 2007, which till today does not show an official breakdown of results of how Yaradua won. The exercise ultimately is costing Nigeria till today. Let's not also forget his third-term bid, which if it was not for a robust National Assembly, he would have had his way. Then came Yaradua, man who benefited for a ridiculous election which set out to correct things. You can never hear that from any politician today. The economy received the biggest boom in his time. However, his poor health stood in the way, and thus we could not build properly the future he envisaged. Whether he would have done so well or he would have ended up poorly, the jury is still out. Also, he never conducted a national election, so we cannot say for sure if his righteous words would have matched his actions as he died in office. May his soul rest in peace. Goodluck took over as acting president and then won his election in 2011. Despite being Yaradua's deputy and his commitment to a credible electoral system, only good thing he did was stepping down as president, having lost the election in 2015. Anything else was poor. He did not implement the more important part of the recommendations for fixing the electoral system, and one could argue that the reforms from Buhari, his successor, was better than Goodluck's card reader. Buhari came to power with a lot of optimism, but those high energies started drying up when it took him 6 months to appoint a minister. Some persons will argue that Nigeria was in autopilot for 6 months. Unfortunately, despite good intentions, as many of his supporters would say, he failed in almost all key sectors, including education, health, economy, and even security. Under his watch, Abuja, the nation's capital, started experiencing kidnapping and banditry activities. The whole insecurity was no longer limited to Boko Haram, but the entire country. Economy faced the next big hit as Nigerians suffered 2 official recessions. I say official because that is according to the National Bureau of Statistics. In reality, life got so hard that many Nigerians started leaving the country in droves. This brought about the Japa syndrome. Health workers specifically went on strike at different times and faced brain drain, something never mentioned in Nigeria. Also because a Senate plenary discussion. ASU also went on strike for the longest time, ever since 2013. Ridiculous policies like the ban of Twitter and the redesign of the Naira. However, what should have been the silver lining for the Buhari government, which was the Electoral Act 2022, introducing IREV and BVH, ended up as a sham when the electoral body reported that a technical glitch prevented them from uploading the presidential results to the same software and server at the same time. They uploaded the Senate and House of Representatives to the same software on the same server. As someone would say, that if a person explains Nigerian to you and you understand, then that person did not explain well to you. Anyways, Tinubu benefited from the flawed election of 2023 and called it the best election in Nigeria's history. He was announced winner with less than 40% of the total votes cast. Unfortunately for him, unlike his predecessors who got some honeymoon period, he was afforded none as the declared subsidy is gone on the day of inauguration. Already an unpopular president, it flooded major cities as fuel jumped from 200 naira to about 600 naira until today the drama continues. Prices of foodstuffs has grown astronomically. It came to power and his face, let the poor breed, has become a team against his own policies. Really, Nigeria appears like a grown-up 12-year-old child who messes himself up with feces and is crying out for mommy to help wash up. When Buhari left office, the national debt was at 7 trillion naira, but at the moment has grown to almost 170 trillion in a little over 2 years. The government on hand has tried to manage things. The reality is the country is not behaving like a 12-year-old, but rather a 1-year-old, and the government sees the country as a 20-year-old. The introduction of the new tax bill is clearly divisive, with many saying it is bad and many saying it is good. Irrespective of what side you belong, it is clear that first, our leaders won't pay taxes, but rather they live off taxes, and second, Nigerians are facing their worst period economically since the time of Abacha, and they are about to be levied more. Country's primary source of income, which is crude oil, does not yield much as in the golden days, and there is the big man in the White House who is unwilling to give anyone free lunch. It is clear that Nigeria has a lot of problems, and some of them did not come during this administration. However, many will argue that this administration also did not cover themselves in glory with their policies and priorities. Whether you think Tinubu is the answer or not, it is clear that things have been tough, and a president who did not score up to 9 million votes will likely get lower. If Tinubu will win in 2027, which is possibility, then it will not be because he has done well, but rather because there was no credible alternative. Now it's your turn, our viewers, to answer. Do you think Nigeria is heading in the right direction? Do you think Tinubu is leading us to paradise or nowhere? Will the opposition be able to defeat him in 2027? Please leave your opinions in the comment section below. Till next time, be safe.